Hi, Scott Machine Gun Dad. Welcome back to the channel. This is a not an auction find, not a gun on the wall. This is, hey, I know a guy, a gun. Years ago, when I was young and before I was married, I was into sports cars. I got married and then came across a really nice 911 Porsche. Well, ex-wife got pregnant with my first, decided that we didn't need a 911 anymore, so I sold it. Go back 4 weeks. An Instagram picture of a guy standing in front of my 911 came up on my Instagram. People you may know. I says, I think that's my car. So I liked him. He liked me back, talk about, yeah, that's the guy that bought my car in 1999. And so we started talking, and he said he's getting older and he wanted to downsize his gun collection. And he was telling me about some of the things. Now, he has a transferable M16, but I don't have $30,000, so I had to settle for other stuff. That brings me to this. This is a Colt, they call it a Hammerless, even though it's an internal hammer, in 380. I can't figure out if this, some call this the model of 1903, some call this the model of 1908. Let's move in close and take a look at it. We moved in on the Colt Hammerless. The ironic thing is, talking to people, my understanding is the 1903 is the 32 version and the 1908 is the 380 version, but there is also a 1908 which is a 25 automatic version. So maybe some Colt expert will tell me exactly what this is, but I'm going to call it a 1908. As you can see, here's the Colt engraving. There's no hammer. The hammer's internal. Wooden grips with the Colt inlay. Some of these had black plastic grips with Colt written across it. This one has wooden grips. This gun, I ran a serial number, was made in 1937. Over here, here's your serial number, your Colt roll marking, and then I'm going to try to roll it around. You have your prancing horse, again with your inlaid wooden grips. The gun's in really good shape for a gun that's almost exactly 90 years old. I'm glad I got it. I've never had a Colt. Let's move out. Well, you just saw it up close. It's in really good shape. Now, other than the fact that the gentleman sold it to me, his first name is Greg, he told me some history, and this is where the cool part comes in. This gun, his uncle, and I want to get his name right, was in a demolition unit. His name was David F. Larimer. I guess his uncle was kind of a scrapper. And his uncle got into a fight with some MPs. I guess he was a little bit outnumbered, but he won anyway. Well, the colonel that ran the unit was so impressed, he said, I want that guy to be my driver. So not only did he get out of getting arrested for beating up the MPs, he ended up being the colonel's driver. And to be the colonel's driver, the colonel personally gifted him this Colt. And he carried it all the way through the war. And then he carried it back, and he carried it in a custom-made in the waistband holster. So this is a World War II veteran. I have not shot this. I was waiting for Nick to come, so we'll take it outside and shoot it. I've never shot one of these before. Doesn't lock open on the last shot, but it goes where it's supposed to. Alright, we just shot the Colt Hammerless. Before I do my spiel, we'll let Nick give you his opinion.
I, in fact, quite liked shooting the Colt Hammerless. It's got the same issues as most of the firearms of this era do, which is the sights are present. They're not really anything to write home about, but they work if you are used to that style of really tiny rear sight, barely noticeable front sight. They're more of a point and shoot from like 10 feet away kind of firearm. I'm usually not a big fan of grip safeties, but this one, you don't even notice that it's there if you're holding it correctly. I do like this. It had a bit more of a pushback into the middle of my hand than I expected it would, but it wasn't all too uncomfortable. Heel magazine release, not the best feature, but the magazines do have this little, oh no, it's a different handgun, never mind.
It's the Astra that we shot today.
The Astra has the tab. Never mind on that, but it's not the most difficult one to use. You can kind of push that in, and it's got a nice pronounced front on the bottom magazine plate, and you can pull it out, but I'm not the biggest fan of those, so yeah, it's certainly a good piece. It's a very fascinating piece of history considering how old it is, but that's a Colt.
Never shot one of these before. Guy I worked with had one in 32 that was all rusted up, and I freed it up for him and got it working, but I never got a chance to shoot it. I think the felt recoil is similar to a Walther PP. It's grip size. Nick's right, you can't even tell there's a grip safety. When you hold it properly, it goes in automatically. The sights are very small, but for me they were right on. It did not like the MagTech ammo.
That's kind of usual at this point.
I think MagTech is just a little bit underpowered. Even the brass stuff is just a little bit underpowered because it's short stroked on the one you had. That's why I didn't pick the round up.
Yeah.
I like it because I don't have one. I like it because of the history of where it came from, the soldier that carried it. Would I recommend you buy one? How much money you got? These things are outrageously expensive for what they are. They are, in all intents and purposes, in today's modern world, a collector's piece. It's something you can go out and shoot and have fun with. I guess you could carry it, but you know, considering that you're going to drop anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on something like this, you could buy a carry gun for a lot less money, and you really wouldn't care if you scratched it up. Now, if you're a Colt collector, you better get one. They are really nice. I'm happy I got it. Thanks to the guy who sold it to me, and I promise to take care of it, and hopefully my son will hold on to it for him. Thanks for coming to the channel.